kind of want to start out with a joke.
Oh, that's up to you.
Okay. Because we're talking about road maintenance. I think I might do this every time.
All right.
What do you call a laughing motorcycle?
I don't know.
A Yamaha ha ha ha.
That's really good.
Thank you. All right, welcome to ClackCo Works, where we chat with the people who make Clackamas County work for their community. Today we are with Mike Besner. Mike Besner is the Assistant Director of Transportation for Clackamas County's Department of Transportation and Development, DTD, as we call it here. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, sure.
Great. Road maintenance. I like it. It's interesting. We get a lot of inquiries about road maintenance. So just in general, you're the right person to talk to, what kind of services do we provide at Clackamas County as far as road maintenance?
Yeah. We do a lot. We take care of a very large number of roads and bridges and traffic signals. People think of road maintenance as patching potholes, which it certainly is. We do that all the time. But it's a lot more. It's making sure our ditches are clear alongside our roads to protect them from water damage. It's cutting back vegetation to make sure people can safely see and travel on roads. It's making sure we sweep to keep debris off the roads, striping. We have so many activities we do that are part of road maintenance. It's taking care of the infrastructure that we have out there that people rely on every day.
And there's a lot of kind of water stuff like bridges and culverts, right?
Yeah. Yep, we take care of 180 bridges, and we have literally thousands of culverts. Most of them are small, but several hundred are a couple feet or bigger. And those are vital. It's to and they require a lot of work to make sure that the road atop is going to be safe.
Right. How long does it take to pave a road? Like, I guess if it's just a regular stretch, I don't know, just use a quarter mile, or what's a regular, stretch?
We could do that. If you're just talking about, boots on the ground, that can happen. That can happen very quickly, in a day even.
Wow.
But a lot more work goes into it. We don't just show up one day and decide, hey, let's throw some asphalt down on that road. There's pre-planning, there's some design. We have to check to make sure we're putting the right amount down.
Okay.
So that the investment's going to last.
Okay. And do we do anything with the animals? Like if there's dead animals on the side of the road, or
we do if they're going to be a road hazard. So like if there's a dead deer on the side of the road and it's right by the travel lane, we'll send a crew out there, and they'll remove it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So one thing that I think is interesting about Clackamas County and the roads is that we have the most paved roads in Oregon. Is that right?
Yeah, of all the counties.
Of all the counties,
we maintain over 1,400 miles of paved roads, which is the most of any county in Oregon.
Right. Right. Isn't that enough to get to Mexico or something?
Yeah, you can get to Mexico, and so it doesn't seem like it to a lot of people because we're just Clackamas County, but we actually take care of a lot.
Yeah. So what is the difference? So I think a lot of people don't understand how we just do county roads, but it's not like we're responsible for all the roads in the county, because you've got federal roads, which are run by the federal government, I guess, and state roads, and you also get city roads that are within cities. But are there any other roads, and does the county still kind of half operate ones that are state or city?
Yeah, it's a good question. That's confusing to a lot of people, and we get a lot of questions about it. There are different kinds of roads. Yes, county roads, which are roads that the county commissioners have said we will accept and take, are the ones we maintain. City streets are maintained by whatever city has accepted them. We don't have any authority or responsibility for them. And interstates and state highways are all owned and operated by ODOT.
Right.
Oregon Department of Transportation. So, examples in our county, I-205 and I-5, obviously, but, 224, 212, 99E, 43, for example, and there's others. Those are all ODOT facilities, so they have jurisdiction. Now, we'll sometimes do work in partnership with them. But in the end, it's their responsibility and their jurisdiction.
And do sometimes we still do some maintenance on roads within cities if we've got some sort of jurisdictional agreement?
Well, usually it's because we don't have a jurisdictional agreement, frankly.
Okay.
And so we have county roads that can be inside a city. Sunnyside Road's a really good example. It's in parts of it are in Happy Valley, but Happy Valley hasn't taken the road. And so, and by law, they have to want to.
Is that because they've expanded over the years?
Yeah, cities annex and their borders expand.
So it used to be county road, but then they've expanded. But even though it's within the city, then
it remains a county road unless they take it, and they haven't. So we still fully maintain Sunnyside Road, even if it's in the city boundary. There's a lot of examples of that.
Okay. What about the weird one I hear about local access roads? Sometimes?
Local access roads are a weird quirk in Oregon law. They are public roads, so they're not private, but they're not maintained by any specific jurisdiction.
Right.
They're throughout the state of Oregon, and really it could be somebody once, built a road and paved it and said, I'm giving this to the public.
Right.
But the public never responded with, and we are willing to maintain it. And we have a lot of them in Clackamas County. And so although we have jurisdiction over them, which means if someone wants to do work on them, they need a permit.
Yeah.
We're not liable for them, and we don't maintain them.
Okay.
It is a little confusing.
No, I get it. I mean, everything is, but
Yeah.
and there's private roads too, but we don't have anything to do. How many private roads are there in the county?
I don't even know how many private roads there are, but yeah, we have zero to do with them. We can't. They're private.
All right.
Yeah.
So I've been with Clackamas County for over a decade now, and I'm with the Public Affairs Department, so we get a lot of stuff on social media and different inquiries over the years. And one thing that is persistent among residents that I think they sometimes don't have a good understanding of or grasp of is why don't we put more money toward fixing roads? Because everybody wants. Forget for a second which roads are ours and stuff, and we often get complaints about city roads, and then we point people to cities and stuff. But essentially, people see that we have a lot of money in terms of being a billion-dollar organization. Our last budget, I think, then the current fiscal year is $1.57 billion for general operations. And people say, why can't we just go ahead and put more money into fixing the roads? Sometimes we have to talk about different, raising of funds for roads and that sort of thing. So Mike, you're the perfect person to ask, why don't we just go ahead and put more money into fixing roads so everybody happy?
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. And so, the county has lots of funding sources, and you know this, and most of some members of the public know this, but a lot of them are dedicated, which means you're paying a specific fee, for example, for a building permit. That money stays within the building program per state law.
Right.
General fund, which is what people pay in their property taxes, we get that a lot. I pay my taxes, come out and fix the pothole. I get it, but it doesn't work that way because unfortunately in Oregon law, what's raised for road fund is protected, has to be spent on roads. It's a dedicated fund.
Right.
Unfortunately, there's a different state law that says thou shalt not use the county's general fund on roads. We actually can't.
Right.
It's not legal.
Right. So it's almost like, and the property taxes that we get every year for the county, I think, are somewhere around 160 million or something, and that's part of the 1.57 billion that I talked about. A lot of that is federal grants, state grants that are dedicated for specific purposes. Our Health, Housing, and Human Services Department gets a lot of money to provide health services and stuff like that. We can't take that money and just spend it on roads. Roads has to be funded by road funding and that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It just like we can't divert the road funding to a different purpose.
Right. Yeah. So how much do we spend is our road funding budget every year?
Yeah. Well, road funding budget includes a lot of things.
Okay.
Because we get grants as well.
Right.
We get in the base of road funding is what people pay at the pump in the state gas tax, and when they register their vehicle, they pay a registration fee. We also get money for trucks and something called a weight mile tax. Those are what build the state highway fund, which is our primary road fund. We get about $35 million a year from the state in that funding. The bulk of that, not all, because some goes to other road funding activities, but the bulk of it goes to road maintenance. But we also do get grants, and we do have a couple other local funding sources that we're able to add to that.
Right. So only about, you said 35 million or so for road maintenance, road funding. And of course, we compare that to it's around 160 million that we use for property taxes. And again, that's just a drop in the bucket compared to the 1.57 billion that we have for the whole organization, because we can't use it for that.
Yep.
Yeah. So you touched on something there with, local sort of taxes and local ways we raise money. One thing that Clackamas County started just a few years ago was the Community Road Fund, and it's specifically for transportation funding. Can you tell us what it is?
Yeah. It's simply it's a local vehicle registration fee. So when people go to register their vehicle every other year, in Oregon, I believe it is, they will pay. And what our board did is a few years ago is enacted it so it's a $30 a year registration fee. So if you pay every 2 years, it's $60.
Right.
And it adds to what we're paying the state, which is a little more than that. But that money comes back to Clackamas County. ODOT administers it for us. They take a very small amount, and the rest of it comes to us. We split it with our cities, which again, state law requires us to do.
Is that an even split, or is it 50?
60-40. So the county gets 60%, the cities get 40%.
Okay.
So it actually raises depending on the year, 11 to 12 million a year, roughly. So 60% of that, so 6.5 to 7.5 million of that comes to Clackamas County to spend.
Okay. And what have we done with it? I think it started around 5 years ago.
Yeah, something like that. 5 years ago. It took a little to build it up, but when the board enacted it, they put sideboards on it. They said you will use it for these purposes, and those purposes included congestion relief projects out of our transportation system plan. Included safety projects that we run by our traffic safety committee. It included paving local roads, which for years we were just not able to stretch our dollars to. Those are the roads that, most people live on a local road. They just don't carry a lot of traffic as compared to, I mentioned a Sunnyside road earlier. We have to put our money on the roads that have lots and lots of traffic.
Right.
So this gave us an ability to pave some of those smaller roads and do things like slurry seals and chip seals, which are preservation treatments.
And again, these are all going to be on county roads. These wouldn't be inside city limits.
Correct.
Okay.
We're only using that on county roads.
Yeah.
Yep. And then there's a small percentage we use to help fund jurisdictional transfers. We just talked about that. So it's helping give a city a little bit of money in return for taking over a county road that's in their city.
Because they don't have to. And
they don't have to, and usually we do that when the road needs a little work, and it's a good way. It's a win-win.
Right, because we don't want it. We want them to take care of it rather than us as an organization.
It just makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
And then also a small portion can go to projects of mutual interest between the county and a city.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what are a few that we've accomplished?
Yeah, and so we're actually able to do some pretty cool things with this money. Well, for one, we are paving some local roads throughout the county. We try and spread it around. I mean, again, we're not able to do them all, but we're doing some that otherwise we never would have touched.
Okay. Do you have an example?
Not a specific road, but recently we did a whole bunch in the Oak Grove area.
Okay.
So we're kind of doing little ones all over the place. We were able to add turn lanes on Redland Road, which is great.
That was a safety issue, right?
Safety issue and congestion issue. You know, if someone goes to turn left, they're gumming up the works. But also, we don't want somebody to be sitting there turning left. The person behind them doesn't pay attention and they rear end them. Right. So it's both. We added a turn lane on Canby Markham at Lone Elder. Kind of the same deal.
Right.
One huge one that I never thought in my career we'd be able to address is we just opened bids to build a roundabout at Stafford and Childs outside Lake Oswego. Right. And we're also going to fix up the Johnson-Stafford intersection, which is difficult. It's a big project, and we're able to actually use both the Community Road Fund and system development charges, which is paid by developers to pay their impact to the system. So
that's great.
Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah. Well, for road maintenance heads like
for
us.
Everybody.
Yes, like
road maintenance is exciting.
Oh yeah, I can't get enough.
Yeah.
One thing though that I wanted to touch on is we mentioned it was a big deal when we did the vehicle registration fee a few years back. What do our neighbors have? Because I think that's the first sort of local, fee that we instituted. Do you know offhand what Multnomah or Washington County has?
Yeah, they actually raise a lot more. And when we did it, you're right, we had zero. And Washington County in particular, they have 40 to 50 million a year in locally raised money on top of what they get from the state highway fund,
right?
Which I mentioned we get about 35 million a year. They get a little more. So they get on top of that even more from their locally raised. They have,
even though we have more paved roads,
yes,
more paved miles.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
But they have a local gas tax. So every time people pay in a pump in Washington County, you're paying just a little extra.
Yeah.
They actually do have a special property tax. I mentioned before that you can't use property taxes. Washington County actually has an exception because they were grandfathered in when all the property tax measures happened. So they are able to raise some money.
Okay. What's Mulco have?
And Multnomah County has a vehicle registration fee as well, and I believe they have a gas tax. I might be wrong, but they were already raising more money than we were also.
All right. About how much does it cost is there a rule of thumb on how much it costs to pave a road? Like for a certain length of road, a ballpark figure? I think people think it's less expensive than it is, but it's actually very expensive.
Yeah, I don't have an exact number for you,
Okay.
Because it frankly is a little volatile and can change pretty quickly. But it's not like we can take $100,000 and go pave half a mile. It doesn't work that way.
It's a lot more.
It is.
Okay. How many people are on your road crews? How many people in DTD are just dedicated to road maintenance?
Yep. We have about 60 what we call transportation maintenance specialists, and they either do road maintenance or bridge maintenance, or we call it traffic maintenance, which could be signals or striping or signs.
Right.
We actually take care of about 35,000 signs. So I mean, it's not a small task.
That's big signage.
Yeah. And those are the ones just dedicated for that. We have others that participate. We have engineers that help out, and there's other roles. We have technicians that keep track of the assets that we own and see what shape they're in, see what needs to be replaced, and that'd be even more people that work on it.
Okay. What is one thing that you wish the residents of Clackamas County knew about doing road maintenance, or about your crews, or anything?
One thing that I don't know if people realize is when the weather gets bad, and I mean if it's snowing, if it's flooding, which happens, if it's windy, if it's ice storm, everyone goes to the safety of their home and kind of hunkers down. And our folks, that's when they go to work.
Yeah.
We
do 24/7.
24/7 if it's snowing.
Yeah.
We are out there, and people who in the valley don't realize how often we're up in the mountains. Our county is big, and we go, we don't maintain Mount Hood, but we go up the Welch's area. We maintain Sawtell Road is a road at a very high elevation in South County. We're doing more snow response than people realize, and ice response. But anytime any of that happens, we get called out, and we have people on call 24/7. If there's a crash and they need traffic control, if the sheriff needs some help, we go out.
Yeah. Where do people go to report their road concerns?
Well, we have a web page. I don't have the URL memorized.
We'll get it.
Yeah. But if people just Google Clackamas County road concerns, they'll get there pretty fast.
Yeah.
That's the best way. Fill out the form. It immediately goes to our folks, and we're pretty good at responding. There's also a phone number there if people want to call.
Yeah, known as the pothole hotline.
We've kind of repurposed it as the road concern hotline, because although certainly you can call it about potholes, and that's a major component of it.
And we'll put everything in the description with the links to But the potholes, you guys respond to potholes within 7 days, right?
We do. Frankly, sometimes it's within an hour, but usually we'll put eyes on it that day. If it's a safety issue, we're going to get on it very, very quickly.
All right.
If we go out and look and say, oh yeah, it's kind of, that one's not going to hurt anybody, we might take a little bit longer, because we're pulling crews off of other work to fix them.
All right. Well, great. Again, Mike Besner is the Assistant Director of Transportation for Clackamas County Department of Transportation Development, known as DTD. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, yeah, it's fun. Thanks.
All right.